Where are we? What is happening to the future of our young ones? Is it that their fate is on the balance, neither here nor there? How better can we air our voices to have our children back to school? The prolonged strike by ASUU is no longer news, but a matter that has stretched its bounds so much and generated concerns across all sectors of life. And this is not anymore an acceptable situation for students, parents, and even for the providers of this service on which we are talking about. The rumbling feud between the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, and the federal government appears to be far from being over, as the federal government insists it won't pay the university teachers for the period they were on strike, which is now 6 months and still counting. Federal government and ASUU are at a deadlock as it is. The government says it's no work, no pay policy remains the only barrier to the ongoing negotiations between the two parties, as it vowed not to pay the salaries for the period of the strike. Though in a statement, Minister of Education Adamu Adamu said all contentious issues between the government and ASUU had been settled, except the quest for members' salaries for the period of strike to be paid, a demand that President Muhammadu Buhari has flatly rejected, adding that the return to work was still not clear. Hopefully, all other unions like the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, Non-Academic Staff Union of Education and Associated Institutions, NASU, and the National Association of Academic Technologies, NAT, will resume work in the next 1 week. Now, from these developments, can we say there is light at the end of the tunnel? Well, as we wait for the outcome, Nigeria today has some ground to discuss resolving FG ASUU impasse with two gentlemen to add their voices to the many that have done same in these past months. I am Lydia Odijochi. I will be back in a moment. Don't go away. Stay with us. Joining me in the studio to discuss resolving federal government and ASUU impasse is Dr. Nii Sumonu. He is the National Coordinator, Congress of University Academics, CONUA. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Nigerians.
All right. Now, let me go right away. Hopefully, we hope to have another guest join us via Zoom. But let me go straight to you. Let's start with the realities on ground. And the reality is that ASUU and federal government could not come to a compromise, again, as a result of the no work, no pay policy. What is your take on that policy as applicable to this situation?
Thank you very much. Good evening once again, Nigerians. The no work, no pay policy of the government, as it is currently trying to apply to the academics in the university, for the fact that they've been on strike for the past 6 months and running. It can be looked at in so many dimensions, but the job of academics are not only to teach the students. There are other two parts of academic job, and that is community service and research. In the course of this industrial action, I would like to put it that way, there have been some academics, some holding administrative positions that will attend to administrative issues. Again, there are some other committed academics that will attend to their graduate students, that will attend to even their final year students with respect to their research, which is also in the course of advancing our education system. So for that, it's neither here nor there. I think what is important is for the parties involved to not say that they are tired of talking. At the table, reasons, rationale for not applying the no work, no pay policy can be advanced so that government can see other perspectives they are either to not seen before. And when that happens, I think issues can be resolved in a way that will be a win-win situation for the sides concerned.
Okay. Now, what areas do you feel the federal government should let go or shift ground for the sake of the students this time around?
Before I really go into that, I would like to look at it this way. There has, for all the parties involved, there have been several meetings that have been breaking down every now and then. So our own, or my own prescription will be to escalate the discussion to what I will call a third force. Nigeria is not in short supply of eminent citizens, respected citizens. Could be in the form of religious leaders, could be in the form of people who have served this country in one capacity or the other in the past, and with unblemished record. So get this third force, what I would call third force, involved in that kind of discussions that will appeal to all the sides involved. It appears that the sides involved have actually lost trust in each other. And when you come to a discussion, when you come to a table where there is a deficit of trust, we're likely going to be having this breakdown of discussion every now and then. We should, all the parties involved, including the third force, which I'm suggesting should be escalated to, we should think deeply that this current situation can come back to haunt all of us in the nearest future. Because what is happening now is that our most active citizens, our most productive citizens, are just kept idle.
That was very deep. All right. Well, I told you earlier we're hoping for someone to join us via Zoom, and he's ready right now. We're being joined by Blackson Bayewumi, Country Director, Royal Commonwealth Society, Nigeria branch. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, I still want to throw the question I threw to my guest here in the studio. The realities on ground, and that's the ASU and the federal government not coming into compromise again. Now, what would be the implication of this?
Good evening, thank you. Good evening, viewers. I think the most important thing now is to look for a way of resolving this issue. All the public universities in Nigeria belong to the people of Nigeria and the government of Nigeria. The government belongs to the people, and the university belongs to the people of Nigeria and the nation. So everybody, I believe the government and the academic lecturers, both of them want development of this nation. They want the nation to move forward. I believe so. So in that, to that effect, I think both of us, both the nations, the lecturers, and the government should look for a way, common way of resolving this problem. Because young people have been staying at home for over 6 months, and this is not doing the nation any good. So it's better for two of them, two parties, to come together and look for a makeable way of resolving this, especially by reaching compromise. Compromise is the solution to this, not each body claiming law, claiming right, or claiming this. We just have to reach compromise for the sake of the development of this nation, for the sake of the young people that are at home, and for the development and the prosperity of our country. Thank you.
Yes, my guest in the studio actually talked about an accident or something waiting to happen in the near future, keeping students for so long idle at home. Now, I would like you to react to this.
Sorry?
I said I would like you to react to the issue of keeping students idle for so long.
I can assure you, not all the students will return back to school. I can assure you. I can assure you that not 100% of the students will return back to the school. Some of them will have deviated along the way. Because we should understand the situation in the country now. We have high level of crime in the country. We have insurgency. We have a lot of fraud, a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on social media. So I know there's a saying that goes that devil finds a job for idle hands, and most of our young people have been idle for 6 months. You can just imagine. So our parents will go out in the morning to go and look for source of living. They will leave these young people at home, and without seeing them. for about 8 hours. Only God knows what these young people will be doing at home when the parents are not there to monitor them. You understand? So there's a peer pressure on them. There's a lot of a negative influence around, and if they are not doing anything, it's very easy for them to be manipulated. So we can just, it's a lot of loss for the nation by keeping our young people, because these are the bright people, these are the hope of this country, these are the future of this country. Most of the lecturers and the people in government, they are once students. Most of these same lecturers, most of these people in government, they are once a student like those young people now. And because they were given the opportunity, that's why they are lecturer today, that's why they are in government today. So they should please look at the future and prosperity of this country by ensuring the future generation of this country go back to school to go and complete their education and move the nation forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I could see Dr. Nii. I saw you trying to react. Go ahead, please. Sorry.
Yeah, excuse me. The essence of
Sorry.
the essence of education, university education, education generally, the essence is there should be continuity.
Yes.
That's when you have continuity, that is when you are able to sustain, you're able to impact the right education at any level. So we're talking about university education. So the solution or the perspective I prefer all the time is a short-term perspective, just to solve the current logjam. For us to avoid repeating this cycle, which we have started since 1981 thereabouts, the cycle of have meeting with government. I don't know where it starts actually, but you have meeting with the government, but yeah, it has all these ingredients I want to put to the table. You have meeting with the government, you agree on some things, you go back, government reneges, then there will be some overtures to the government to remind them of this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, this is what you agreed upon, and what have you. Government refuses to do them, there's a strike, and we just go around that like a yo-yo. To break that, we really need to ask ourselves, like it started in 1960. In 1960, when Nigeria gained independence and we had our few universities around, the universities had purpose. And the purpose, major purpose then among other purposes, was to provide workforce for the nation, to drive the nation forward. After then, the universities created afterwards, do we really have a blueprint? What are they supposed to provide? What purpose do they serve when they are created? In the developed world that we cite every time, the universities have reasons why they are created. You have some universities where when you were looking for the best in medicine, you just go to that university. When you're looking for the best in technology, you just go to that university. When you're looking for the best in all other facets, that doesn't mean they are not into research in any other thing, in other things. But the thing is, when you are looking for the best, so that at the table of the federal government, of the president of a country, he knows if he has issue in any facet of the economy, of the progress of the country, he knows the academic or the researcher to call on. So the point is, surfing through the internet, I stand to be corrected. Do we really have, as a country, a clear policy on tertiary or university education in Nigeria?
Okay, that's a question. We'll ask that question when we come back after this break. We'll take a break now and get reactions of some Nigerians on the issue at stake with our correspondent, Thomas Ogbetere.
Federal government is not doing what it's supposed to do. The ASU, they are also not trying to reconcile with the federal government on reaching a particular stage or particular agreement, so that this strike has been there for a very long time. ASU strike, since when I was a kid, my mom did ASU strike, I did ASU strike, my siblings currently are this ASU strike. There is no decision that has been, final agreement that has been reached.
My daughter is reading medicine at University of Calabar. It's in the house. How would you keep children in the house? A lot of robbery going on. There are children who their parents cannot hold. They are the people who are going for robbery. It's because of the out of school.
I appeal to federal government also I want them to cut this strike. staying at home is not the best, and keeping them for so long is wrong. It's not good self.
I have about 3 children in university. All of them is at home. They are disturbing me that they want to go back. But I don't have access to government. But since I have this opportunity, I'm appeal to federal government to settle with the ASU so the children will go back. And the ASU too, they will look and know how the situation be and consider the children so the children will go back to the school.
Thanks for holding on. My guests are still with me, and we are discussing resolving the federal government ASU impasse. Yes, just like we listened to them. In fact, everybody was, most people have been affected, like I was affected. In fact, my ID card got expired because of the strikes. Now, I want to go back to Blackson. If you listen to what what Nigerians had to say there, and also some students, how would you react to their comments?
Yes, that's a lot of concern, and I sympathize with the parents and what the students are saying. So it appears that negotiation has failed. Now, negotiations between federal government and NASU has failed. And I will suggest that federal government and NASU should come up with a doctrine. I came with a doctrine called academic diplomacy. So when negotiation fails, then we can come with a doctrine of academic diplomacy that both parties can come together and use diplomacy and leave negotiation. No, the interest of the nation should be priority. Use diplomacy, academic diplomacy, to bring those parties together and resolve this issue in the interest of the nation. Parents are complaining and lamenting. Students are complaining and lamenting, and government is there. We have government, and one of the priority of the government is to make an environment and to create access to education for young people in Nigeria. Because the education, people that are educated are the people that will build the nation tomorrow. You understand? They are the future nation. The prosperity of this country lies on the educated young people today. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, some of these professors that are lecturers today, some of these people that are in government today, they were investing. They have access to the education. That's why some of them are in National Assembly, some of them are in government today, and some of them are lecturers today. They should not deny the coming generation this opportunity or slow them down. They should not slow them down. They should not deny them. So parents are lamenting. Students are lamenting.
Let me come in here. Let me come, if I may. Is there any foreign organization or like the Commonwealth or United Nations, anything they can do at this time if they have to wade into this matter?
Nigeria's universities are members of the Commonwealth Association of Commonwealth Universities. And the Association of Commonwealth Universities are affiliated to the Commonwealth. It's one of the accredited associations to the Commonwealth. And that's the priority of those organizations, is to promote higher education across the Commonwealth and beyond. But because this is between federal governments and ASU, it's a labor union. International organizations cannot interfere, they can only appeal. You understand? And like I said earlier, of employing the doctrine of academic diplomacy, if we're in a war situation where there's serious war between a country, diplomacy has been used in the past to resolve a war problem where two nations are fighting war. They engage diplomacy to resolve that. If diplomacy can resolve the issue of war, we are not fighting war. Both Nigeria and federal government and the ASU are trying to see how to improve the education in Nigeria. Only that the mass, they are not meeting the demand, so they can come together, leave negotiation alone, and employ doctrine of academic diplomacy. So, in the interest of the nation. So, we are not claiming that, we are not looking at the negotiation, what was there, but we want to end this strike. And the issue of no pay, no work, or no work, no pay can be discussed. And because there's no any clause, there's no any victimization clause. When they sign the collective bargaining by federal government, no victimization clause. I want to appeal to federal government, since there's no victimization clause in the agreement they sign, they should pay them back, because if the ASU can go back to school, government should pay them their money, because those salaries are already in the budget of 2022 budget. They are not new money, they are not new expenditure. They are already in the budget. So these people, they have family, they have friends, they have expenses, they have children too. So denying them 6 months salary.
Let me come to Dr. Nii now. How would you react to some of his suggestions?
Yeah, they are in line with what I also feel. It's just that in the mode of its deployment, he's talking about academic diplomacy, while I'm saying that Nigeria is not short of very eminent, respected individuals that can actually bring the two parties to the table for eventual resolution. Respected individuals with unblemished records in what they have done for this country in the past. It's another way of actually bringing the two sides together and reaching compromises, agreement for the benefit of this country. As I was saying the other time, that is just an immediate solution to break this logjam. Going forward, we have to pick a lot of lessons here, a lot of lessons from what has actually happened also, the incessant industrial action. And that lesson should lead us into, we don't wait till the accident happens. By we, I mean all the stakeholders, the government, the unions. And it appears that we just focus on the government and the unions alone, which in our view is a bit unfair. The students who are the receiving end should also be part of the stakeholders, the parents, and all others who have the interests of this country at heart. And what will I want them to do in such, getting them involved, is that all these stakeholders should not wait till discussions between unions break down, between union and government break down. They should be kept abreast of situations on ground and arrest issues before they develop, be proactive in them. So going forward also, as part of the lessons we should learn, we should also test our democracy by deepening it with respect to the uninterrupted academic calendar, how we can achieve uninterrupted academic calendar. Is it possible for us to look at the collective bargaining agreement or discussions or negotiations and put whatever is arrived at such through some legal procedure that will make it binding on all the parties concerned? If that is possible, by so doing we'll be deepening the process, and that if any party reneges, then it becomes a legal matter. So that at the end of the day, in the morning I said something about one of the things I was taught that resonated very well with me. My teacher taught me that there are so many solutions to one problem. And as long as I'm opportune to be able to itemize all the solutions, I can pick the best that will give me a win-win. That doesn't mean all other solutions will not work. But you look at the cost benefit analysis of it and say, okay, this one is best and give me least problem. And this is the way we should be thinking with respect to resolving issues in the university, so that the students, our future, are not adversely affected. And by so doing, it will come back, because very soon we'll grow old. These ones that we are handling now will be the one to handle us.
All right, thank you so much. We wish we could talk more on this, but that's it. That's what we can take. There is no gainsaying on this matter as we go on and on, proffering solutions we deem necessary to find lasting solution. We hope that someday we can achieve that. Now, I also want to reach out to Blackson to give, in 10 seconds, your closing remarks.
Okay, thank you very much. Like he said, there's need for institutionalization of the frameworks of relationship between the academics and the federal government. Because if there's a known law that's guiding both of them, so the law will guide them. So I really appreciate and support his submission on that. So we should take advantage of democracy to institutionalize this relationship. There should be law guiding the operation and relationship between the national and federal government. So there should be law specifying the operations and relationship of both of them. But in the long run, I just want ASU to please, when they meet, they should, for the sake of the young future people of this country consider the possibility of call up the strike and return back to school.
All
I
right,
believe
thank
further
you.
government
All
will
right.
pay them.
We must thank our guest, Dr. Niyi Sumono, National Coordinator, Congress of University Academics, KONUA, here with me in the studio. Thank you for finding time to be here with us.
Thank you for having me.
And Blackson Bayewumi, Country Director, Royal Commonwealth Society Nigeria Branch, who joined us via Zoom. We appreciate your contributions. Thank you.
Thank you.
And to our viewers back home, thank you for always keeping a date with us. Remember, the program airs weekdays at 7:30 p.m. You can watch this and other episodes at www.youtube.com/ntnews24hub. I'm Lydia Odidi Ochi, wishing you a wonderful weekend and hope to see you next week. Goodbye.